Good afternoon.
Oh,
Hello, and welcome everyone to another broadcast of Project 365, where we aim to bring hope, encouragement, and inspiration to the entire world 365 days of this year. Now, as you know, on Saturdays, we like to dedicate it to the voice of the next generation. So that's people of my generation and all the generations underneath of mine. And today we have a wonderful guest. This is a beautiful, bright, talented, and very charismatic young lady, Shanya Latta. Hi, Shanya. How are you today?
hello. I'm doing great. I'm excited, also kind of nervous.
Oh, don't be nervous. Don't be nervous. I know you're gonna do well for this broadcast. So, guys, just a little information about Shania. Okay, one, she's a junior. She'll be a junior, yes, and at Western High School. She's interested in traveling to different countries, and you know I love to travel. And she's also learning Hebrew. Out of all the languages you could learn Hebrew, which is so cool, interesting, and just a tad bit difficult, wouldn't you say?
Yes, I think it's they write differently than we do. It's kind of backwards, especially getting the grammar they speak to male and female in its different ways. It's pretty difficult.
But that just shows you the kind of young lady that you are to take on such a challenge and to do well. So today, I hear you would like to talk to us about peer pressure.
Peer pressure. Yes. I felt led to talk about peer pressure because I know that that's something I struggled with a lot during my middle school years and during high school. I was like excluded because I believed in something that the generation doesn't normally accept.
And what was that belief?
It was belief in Jesus as my Lord and Savior. I would try to help people. I would ask them if they needed prayer, and I wouldn't force them. I'd just be kind of ministering, like
Mhm.
an evangelist almost.
Mm-hmm. But I hear evangelism can be very hard sometimes, but I think that is very courageous and bold of you to do that when, like you said, not so many people in the younger generations just do that on a normal basis. So I really do want to commend you for taking on that aspect of your faith. So when it came to peer pressure, how did you deal with that?
I I more so I often prayed a lot because
Mm-hmm.
really bad anxiety around people. But the thing was I love people. So it was kind of counterintuitive. But I know I prayed a lot and God really helped me with getting to know people. And I love being open now.
Well, that's wonderful. See progress. I'm telling you, every little bit, when you just try a little bit harder and you rely on God, I'm telling you, it gets a little easier, right? Yeah, I can understand definitely. So, um, your friends in school or maybe your other circles, do they deal with peer pressure as well? And if so, how do they deal with peer pressure?
Yes, of course. I know that most of my friends, they've told me they rely on me for a lot of stuff, and I'm happy to be there for them. They talk a lot about their family lives, depression, and bullying. A lot of my friends have been bullied, and I know
Mhm.
that it'd be hard for them. So I like to keep it between us.
Yeah, definitely. So, with bullying, would you say, let's see, because you're a junior now. So when you first started high school, would you say bullying in general has gotten worse? Or would you think it's gotten just a little bit better? Just in general, like in the world.
In general, I think it's
Mm-hmm.
gotten worse, especially because of social media. You can be anywhere, and people try to impress people that they see online when it's not reality, and
Mm-hmm.
apply that to their own lives and compare themselves to other people, and then they're never satisfied.
So what do you think you could tell the people of your generation concerning bullying, and maybe if you could say anything to just a bully out there, what would you choose to tell them right now?
I think bullying reflects their own insecurities. You
Mhm.
never pick on somebody for something that you're proud of. So it really reflects something about themselves, and maybe they would have to work on that for themselves.
Now, I completely agree with you. You know, a lot of times when you have kids or teenagers or even adults being bullies, 99% of the time, it's never about the person they are actually bullying. You know, that behavior is an inward reflection of how they feel about themselves and something that's going on in their own life. So, let me tell you, you are one mature young lady. It takes some people a long time to realize, you know, that it's really not about them, but about the person who's doing the offending or the harm. So I think that's really good. So do you feel that as Christians, because you do believe in Jesus, do you feel that you have compassion for bullies, and should Christians have more compassion for bullies? Like, how should we, I guess, address that as a whole?
Um, I think as Christians, since we're going from the Christian point of view, we
Mhm.
just look towards the Bible. And in the Bible, he said not to draw an eye for an eye, a tooth for a tooth, that instead we should love our enemies and we should pray for them, because I'm pretty sure they're going through something themselves and they're not that bad of a person. They want to change and they want to be accepted, but they don't know how to.
See, I'm telling you, wisdom beyond your years. So, as far as peer pressure is concerned, what do you think we could do, or what would you tell people maybe that who are not Christians? Just a little advice on how they can deal with peer pressure if that's something that they're going through.
I think when you learn who you are instead, your own identity, you realize that certain people you don't have to click with to impress, because you don't have to compete. You're in a category on all on your own. There's nobody to compare yourself with when you realize you're one of a kind and can't be replaced and shouldn't be.
Right. Yes. Yes. I completely agree with that. I think it's you know, it's difficult growing up. I'm telling you, it's difficult being a kid, and it's difficult being a teenager going to a young adult for sure. But one thing is, like you said, when we just start to realize that we are special just like we are, we don't have to change at all. Like, for example, I'm so glad that you decided to still be you, because you're just amazing the way you are. And I would be so sad if you changed. And if we just decided to just stick to who we are, and just realize that we are all special in our own way, then, you know, I think a lot of times dealing with peer pressure and bullying, it would decrease dramatically. So now that we talked about peer pressure, let's talk a little bit about you. This whole interest in traveling. What are some places you want to go to?
A long list.
Give
So
me a couple of them.
I want to go to Korea, Saudi Arabia. I want to go to places, every place in Europe, like Italy. I want to go to China, Japan, especially Israel. That's the reason I'm learning Hebrew.
I love it. I love it. I love it. You know, I feel like I don't know if I said this earlier, but just the written language of Hebrew, it's so beautiful to me. And if we had more, I'm telling you, more people like you learning Hebrew. That is just so awesome that you're tackling that. Now before we close, is there anything else you want to say about yourself? Anything else you want to say about peer pressure, bullying? You completely have the floor.
Um, I would just say that just remember that it's not really a reflection of you. And when you're persecuted by others, it's a blessing, because that means you know you're in God's kingdom and you are his child and he loves you.
Well, I think you have, in this short amount of time, you have really shown your wisdom, your maturity, your compassion, your kindness. And if we could all just do a little bit more like Shania, okay, and have compassion for others, especially those who may be different from ourselves, and just still believe and stand firm in who we are and what we believe in, I'm telling you, you're on the path for success. And you guys, if you would do that, you just be on the same path of success in your own lane, just like Shania. So thank you so much for coming on our broadcast.
Thank
It
you
wasn't
for
that bad,
inviting me.
was it? It wasn't
No.
that bad. So I really look forward to even having you on here again to share some more of your wisdom to your generation, my generation, the older generation. All generations can learn from our young leaders today, like Shania. And I just want to say thank you. So before we go, I just want to remind everyone, and Shania, you too, if you have not done so, please go to our YouTube page, okay? Like, share, subscribe, tell your friends, your family, because when you do that, you help us bring hope, encouragement, and inspiration across the entire world. And together, we can do this and just be one big team. And guys, today she has really spread some hope and encouragement. Share this to all the young people that you know. I know they'll be blessed by it. But until then, we will see all of you tomorrow at 1 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. And before we go, Shania, anything else?
Bye.
All right, guys, we will see you tomorrow at 1 p.m. Everyone have a wonderful Saturday and a wonderful holiday.